Do you sometimes hire a caterer for special events? Or a handyman to change the light bulb? Do you pay sales tax to a sales tax agency? If you run a business, you're going to have vendors, and you'll need to pay those vendors for the services they provide. I'm using a company file called landworks_vendors, which is in the Working Files folder. You can open it to follow along, or you can just watch the video. In QuickBooks, the term vendor refers to people and companies from whom you buy your goods and services to run your business. Vendors can include the office supply store, the utilities company, the cleaning service, manufacturers of goods you sell, and any tax agencies. Before you can pay your bills, you need to set up your vendors. Another video covers adding vendors. The rest of this video covers adding vendor types. QuickBooks provides a way for you to group your vendors by type. You might find it useful to categorize your vendors by geographical location or by industry. You can create reports to see expenses by vendor type or send group emails by vendor type. So let's go ahead and create a vendor type. Go to the List menu, go to Customer and Vendor Profile Lists, and then choose Vendor Type List. So QuickBooks has set up a few common vendor types for you, and you may not need any others. It all depends on the type of things you want to report on. This sample business wants to differentiate between vendors who provide material and those who supply rental equipment. So there's already one for materials, so we need to add one for rental equipment. So go to the Vendor Type menu and click New. Type a name for the type. In this case, I'll type equipment. And I'll make it a subtype of suppliers. And click OK. And now you can see the new type I just created is now in the vendor type list. So go ahead and close the vendor type list, and I'll show you how you use vendor types. You assign a vendor type to your vendors. So I'll open the vendor list and choose a vendor that rents equipment, Omar's Landscape Rentals. Click the pencil to edit the vendor record, and click the Additional Info tab. That's where the vendor type is. So we'll go ahead and make this vendor an equipment supplier, and click OK to save your changes. Once you have some transactions, you'll be able to create a report. Since I just added the equipment type, I don't have any transactions for that type, so I'll quickly show you a report for materials vendors. Go to Reports, and go to List, and go to Vendor Contact List. So this list shows all the current vendors. But let's say you want to filter it by type. To show the vendor type, click Customize Report, and click the Filters tab, and choose the vendor type as the filter. And from the vendor type menu, we'll choose Materials. And you can see that it's been added to the list of current filter choices. Now let's click OK to see the report. You can see that the report is much smaller, so this could be pretty convenient if you wanted to call around to your materials vendors to see if they have a certain item in stock. You could just call them one right after the other. Another video covers reports in much more detail. I just wanted to show you how vendor types might be used in your company file. So I'll go ahead and close the report. And QuickBooks will ask me if I want to memorize it because I made customizations, but I'm going to click No. And I'll click the Vendor Center. So that's all for vendor types.